Okay, so the sample problems, not as much explanation. So now it's just like, okay, I understood the pre-lesson. Now things should click. So here we go. Some of your homework problems are going to be this easy. So yes or no? Inverse variation relationship demonstrated here. If we multiply those together, we get 7.5. If we multiply these together, we get 7.5. So far, they're the same. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times a half is 1.5. 6 plus 1.5 is 7.5, so we're golden. Now this one, 12 times 5/8, some of you want to take a shortcut and you're like, it probably is. Be careful on these. There might be one that isn't. So I'm just going to go 12 over 1 times 5 over 8. I don't mind multiplying fractions. So 4 goes into that twice. 4 goes into that 3 times. This is cross reduce swoosh. You're going to hear me say that in class quite a bit. But that's 15 over 2. Guess what that is? 7.5. So you say yes. But be careful. They might throw a zinger on the end that doesn't work, and that would throw the whole inverse variation truth out the window. Here's an actual problem where you're going to apply this idea. Now notice, I'm promising you this. When I took this way back in the day, I bombed it because I don't think, maybe I wasn't listening, possible, but I don't think the instructor really communicated to us that when you see this, your knee-jerk reaction, notice I have X's and Y's, is going to be to use this formula. As soon as you see this, they're telling you, yep, you can use that formula because there's a correlation, okay? There's a glue. So it says, in an inverse variation, x is 6, y is 1/2. Find the equation that represents an inverse variation. This is a different way of saying find k, using that formula. But you have to know you can use it, and this is what allows you to use it. So we plug in what we know, y equals k all over x. Well, the variable's in the numerator, so we're going to multiply by 6. We're going to multiply that by 6. So k is 3. Now they didn't say find k. They said find the equation. All you got to do is put this back in here. So I got y equals 3 all over x. This is my equation I'm going to use for any question they come at me with after finding this. So now they give you some, they're going to come at you a little different. They say, what is y? So it's like, okay, y equals, when x is 15, well, that's 3 over 15, which is just, if we reduce that, that's just 1/5. And if you think about it, just to check your work, what's 15 times 1/5? 3. What's 6 times a half? 3. That's why your k is 3. So I hope this is like, oh, I'm seeing it. I never saw it back in the day. Okay, last problem before I launch you into your homework. So here's a story problem. They let go a little bit, and they want you to know your steps you need to take to solve a problem like this. Now, it says the amount of time it takes for an ice cube to melt varies inversely. There it is. Like, I'm going to use y equals k over x. Now, it says to the air temperature. Notice that starts with the letter T. I'm going to call that big T. I see what's coming, so I'm making a point of this. At 20 degrees Celsius, the ice will melt in 20 minutes. Now, check this out. How long will it take? So what they're talking about now is time. So I'm going to let that be little t. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to use the variables that I've identified. You can stick with y and x if you want to, but I'm going to change this. T is temperature. They told me there is a common connection between this situation. It varies inversely. So I can use this formula. but I gotta keep track. Little t means time, big T means temp. All right. From the previous examples, we know what the first thing we gotta do is build the equation that shows the inverse relationship. All that means is find K. So look, at 20 degrees Celsius, the ice will melt in 20 minutes. Well, here's time, little t. Here's temperature, big T. So I'm going to go 20 degrees, equals K over little t, which is time, which takes 20 minutes. Okay? And so now we take a look at this, we're like, okay, we're going to multiply both sides by 20, multiply both sides by 20. My glue that connects any situation they can give us is 400. Let me pause that a second. Okay, now remember, they didn't ask us to find K. They didn't ask us to find the equation. We just know we need one because there's a question coming. How long will it take to melt the ice if the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius? So there's a question, and we're going to need a formula. Knowing this isn't going to help us unless we have a formula. So we take this, T equals 400 over little t. And now we plug in their given information. But keep track of this. 30 degrees Celsius, they want to know, okay, the temperature went up. Now how long is it going to take for that block of ice to melt? So what we're doing here is we're noticing that 30 degrees is our temperature, which is little t. Big T, whoop, screwed up. Big T is temperature, so I have to put 30, boy, I shouldn't use T's. 400 over little t. Little t, how long? Saying find the time. Again, there it is. My variable's buried in the denominator, gone. I got to multiply that by t. So I get 30t equals 400, divided by 30, divided by 30. I don't have that in my noggin. Okay, now I do. That's going to be 13.33 minutes, because everything's in terms of minutes. So there you go. And a couple problems on your homework are similar to this. So go get them. Go Rams.